Jonathan, officier, nous voilà sur la partie romilienne de la partie Fédération. Peu de mots, on y va, c'est parti.
Greetings. I am taking over as your liaison with the Romulan Republic since Tamir is no longer with us. You have proven yourself and earned the respect of your fellow Romulans. A contact from our new allies would like to speak with you. Return to the flotilla. Time is short. What do you need?
Attention, que ça soit sur Click ou que ça soit sur toutes les autres chaînes, aucune pub n'est acceptée, même en anglais.
time is short. What do you need of me? I'm glad that you're settled into your new ship, as we can't waste any time. We've received word that the miners on Beta Thoradar have spotted Nausicaan pirates near their system. The pirates haven't bothered to attack the mining installation, but it's only a matter of time, and they're likely to go after freighter traffic in the area. Beta Thoradar is an unremarkable system, but there's a small Republic colony there that mines heavy metals necessary for ship construction. I need you to take your new ship to the Beta Thoradar system and patrol the area. Just let everyone know that the Republic is watching.
You've arrived at the perfect time. Our satellites have picked up several Nausicaan ships in and near the system. They seem to be pirates, bent on harassing freighters. I'm concerned about the possibility of the pirates deciding to beam down and ransack our home. The planets in this system are not particularly habitable, so we're limited to several small underground facilities. It wouldn't be hard for them to send a contingent of troops and take control of our mining operation. Obviously, if this keeps up, we won't have any trade, which will force us to close down this operation and evacuate.
To any ship in range, this is the freighter
Ship is under attack.
Thank you. We're not gonna wait around for more pirates to show up.
Thank you once more for your policing efforts. It'll be a while before we see trouble here again. Speaking of trouble, I thought you might wish to know that freighter, the Xylan, came by to trade for supplies. They claimed to be carrying mostly perishable delectables and trinkets, but their holds had no refrigeration system and registered a great many compact power signatures. The freighter manifest indicated that they had recently come from the Chaltok system. There's a small Uridian colony there. You might be able to find answers if you find out who's supplying them.
Odd. None of the colonies in contact with the Republic should be involved in weapons dealing. I will make a few inquiries. You may want to take your new ship over to the Chaltok system, in case we need additional investigating done.
Time is short. Congratulations, Centurion. Time is short. What do you need of me?
Greetings. I have a new mission for you on behalf of the Republic. We have traced the Uridian freighter you rescued back to the Chaltok system. Years ago, the Chaltok system held a Romulan research facility studying polaric energy. It was nearly destroyed in a polaric energy explosion. Since then, a colony of Uridians has settled on the planet. Recently, it has become a hotbed of strife. This isn't the first incident we've had with the colony, and we suspect weapons smuggling is occurring. We have heard rumors of one weapons dealer in particular on Chaltok, a Riemann. We'd like to make sure that none of the weapons there are going to be turned against New Romulus. We need you to travel to the Chaltok system and investigate these allegations.
Time is short. What do you need?
Finally, some proper sport. These scavengers have hardly been worth our time. But a ship like yours, that is a fine prize. Power up your weapons and engines. Make this a proper hunt. I'd rather not have to tolerate the endless yammering of your Federation allies. Why would we need the worthless weapons of our cowardly prey? Your Federation masters have sent you on a fool's errand. Listen to the prey prattle on about peace. How like your Federation masters you have become. You will find the peace you seek in death. Let the hunt...
Another refugee of Romulus. Welcome. I am the leader of this small band. You may call me Lortrix. I assume you were behind destroying those Erogen ships around the planet. We're all very thankful for that. The Erogen have been bothering us for quite some time. I would hate to think what would have happened if you didn't arrive when you did. We mainly supply merchant ships with various minerals, and we have a small ore refining operation. It's not much, but it keeps us alive. The Erogen have been harassing us for quite some time, unfortunately. They want to use our facility to manufacture weapons. You and I both know what will come of that. And no one here wants to get involved in someone else's war. You understand, don't you? That is a relief. Look, why don't I show you around our colony, just to relieve any lingering doubts? I would love to establish a better relationship with you and the Romulan Republic. I hoped our location would allow us to remain neutral, but it doesn't seem like that is possible anymore, does it? Talking to my chief engineer would be a good place for you to start. Talking...
Hello. I'm the chief engineer around here. This colony is barely holding together. At night I can hear the creaks and sparks of instruments as they crack in the cold. We need supplies. Good quality Federation supplies. Our replicator is barely working, and the heat systems are spotty at best. All of our energy goes toward keeping our mining equipment up to date. Still, I would much rather be here than out there in the war. And I do hope you're here to ensure it stays that way.
It's okay. You don't have to keep asking. I appreciate your help on Gasco and the Suliban Helix, but Rinna is gone. I need to accept that and move on. How far have we gone only to find no sign of her? It'd be better if I just learned to live with the loss, instead of chasing a foolish dream.
What do you want? I'm not bothering anyone, I swear. I'm sorry. Look, they told me to send a message when you were done scanning the cargo. I don't know anything. I don't know why they told me that. All I know is that I see people using the consoles nearby. That's it.
Unlock failed. Unlock failed.
We have them trapped in the warehouse.
Excellent. Activate the transport inhibitors to stop them from beaming out.
Very well. Do you have any further orders?
Just stay out of our way while we subdue the prey.
You're good. You terrorists. You care nothing for...
USS San Antonio reporting in. We're ready to assist you with anything you need.
Congratulations, Centurion.
I've got to say, you Romulans sure know how to throw a party. I haven't felt a rush like that in quite some time. Finish up anything here and warp out. I'll check back with command. And don't take too long or I might take some of the credit for myself.
When you tripped our monitoring program, the Star Empire sent me to investigate. Our intel said you were part of the terrorist cell on Veronot, but your actions here suggest otherwise. I'm here to make you an offer. Renounce your terrorist allies and come with me and fight for the glory of the Romulan Star Empire. I am authorized to grant you amnesty for your past crimes if you agree to serve the Empire again. If you agree, we would like you to remain within Titan's terrorist cell for the time being. He trusts you. The intel you could gather would be very valuable. The Empire rewards its loyal children well, but it also punishes its enemies. Consider your decision carefully.
Charva. You can't trust her. I know her too well for that. We grew up together. I was her friend. But that's all over. It ended the day she joined the Tal Shiar.
Hello again, Tovan. It's been too long since we were together. Yes, it is true that I am a member of the Tal Shiar. We are the last real protectors of the Romulan people. I have been monitoring this colony since before you arrived. Lortrix was a fool. This is what happens when you're not true to your allegiance. He was selling weapons to anyone who wanted to buy, with no thought to their allegiances. Just like Viranot. In the end, it cost him everything. Your blood, your heritage, that's who you are, where you belong. Anything else is only temporary. I'm here to remind you and your captain of this truth. Now join us before it's too late. You don't understand yet, but you will. The Romulan Republic is a terrorist organization. Datan and his followers are inciting Romulans and Remans to take up arms against the legitimate government of the Romulan Star Empire. Think about it. The military and the Tal Shiar are the only means of guaranteeing security for those of us who survived the destruction. The military has the ships and the manpower. The Tal Shiar has the information and the intelligence network. This new homeworld Datan wants is an illusion. Why start over in contested space near the Federation and the Klingon Empire? Why would Datan choose a system in such a turbulent and dangerous area, unless he knew he could guarantee they wouldn't risk attacking him? He certainly isn't going to do that with pretty words. Datan may have you fooled, but don't just take my word for it. See for yourself. Why do you think that Chaltok is shipping weapons? And they're not the only colony world involved in those kinds of operations. You think that this sort of business wasn't going on elsewhere? Perhaps even on Viranot, right under your nose. Datan's only showing you what he wants you to see. I can show you the things that the Republic is trying to hide. Believe me, or don't. You don't have to trust me. Just trust the evidence. When you are ready to learn more, I'll be ready to show you.
There's a lot I have to say about Charva. As you may have guessed, we used to be quite close. There's a lot of history between us, but all that's really important is that we went separate ways. She thought that the Tal Shiar could ensure security for our people, and I didn't. It's just bringing up a lot of old feelings. As I mentioned, we have a turbulent past. We grew up together. Once, I thought we might have a future together. Those were in the dark years after the destruction of the homeworld. We survived, but it tore us apart. I just wanted to make a new start. She was convinced that nowhere was safe. She kept talking about working with the military or the Tal Shiar. I argued that the only way we'd be safe was to be able to stand up for ourselves. There's a lot I have to say about Charva. I don't believe Datan is a terrorist. I think he's an idealist who's trying to come to terms with the chaos. Datan would never knowingly sanction violence, especially against innocents. He doesn't even like us fighting the Tal Shiar, although he sees the need. But Datan isn't the only person making decisions in the Republic. Maybe there are some people who see the Republic as their chance to have a little revenge. I don't know. I think Charva is wrong about Datan and the Republic. But that doesn't mean it's outside the bounds of possibility that someone has taken things too far, or has a secret program that Datan doesn't know about. If she knows something that we don't, we should try to find out what it is. There's a lot I have to say about Charva. Well, Charva's not a bad person. At least she wasn't. But she is misguided. She's turned a blind eye to the excesses of the Tal Shiar, and she probably doesn't even know about most of them. The Tal Shiar are masters of propaganda, after all. I think that anything she tells us is going to be something that the Tal Shiar wants us to hear. We should gather our own evidence and draw our own conclusions. There's a lot I have to say about Charva.
Your findings are distressing. I'll pass this along to Republic Command. As for Charba, I think the best course of action right now is to wait for her next move. If she's really desperate to make her case, she'll contact you again. If she does, keep me informed. Nadell out.
Time is short. Congratulations, Centurion.
It looks like we're not the only ones visiting. All this debris has attracted Nausicaan scavengers. Recommend that we clear the area of these pirates while searching for any traces of weapon signatures in the... We didn't find anything unusual on these ships, and I knew we wouldn't. I want to believe her, but she's not the person I knew. She are. Still, I am picking up some strange energy readings from the surface of the planet. Perhaps we should continue our search there.
You're one of them, aren't you? We've been looking all over this place for evidence of your terrorist plots, and here you are, showing up to dispose of the evidence we're here to find.
They'll pay for what they have done to our colony. I remember that painting. We should take it with us, as a reminder of home. Devex's old helmet. Reminds me of better times.
So, you're the terrorist. I allied with the Klingon Empire because they promised me the opportunity to find people like you. People willing to hurt innocent civilians and remove you from the Romulan race. You're no better than the Tal Shiar. It's people like me who will restore honor to our people. Of course you are. My teams didn't find the weapons that were here, but this colony has been empty for weeks. You had ample time to hide them, or move them to another location off-world. But there's no evidence that they weren't here. And in the absence of evidence, I go with my instincts. They tell me that people like you hid weapons here, and those weapons got people killed. Innocents, civilians, people who should have been living in peace. This ends now. You won't get a chance to hurt anyone else. Enough, I yield! Do with me what? Surprising words coming from a terrorist. That makes a surprising amount of sense. A contact that I thought I could trust told me there was evidence of terrorism and weapons manufacturing. I agree. Whoever set up this little charade is probably lying in wait to eliminate the survivor of our battle. Won't they be surprised when we join forces? I'll return to my ship immediately. Join me in orbit, and we can finish this.
Enemy ship on sensors.
How disappointing to see you alive. I am Commander Talum of the IRW Asseyez, and you seem to have a talent for sniffing out Tal Shiar. I thought sending another Romulan Republic terrorist to take you out would take care of two problems at once. I was mistaken. Perhaps this is for the best. Now I can take both your bodies back to Colonel Hakiv. I'm sure he will reward me for finally
I don't enjoy being played for a fool. I'm here to back you up. impressed by your martial prowess. You would have made an excellent warrior. I wish you had chosen to work with the Klingon Defense Force instead of Starfleet. Regardless, I am glad we can both serve the greater good of the Romulan Republic.
I picked up a transmission from an attack group in this direction. It sounded like you must have uncovered something significant enough to warrant an armed response. What did you find? That can't be! Are you suggesting I had something to do with it? Why would I? I have nothing to gain. I want you to join us. All of our intelligence reports said there would be weapons, or at least residual traces of weapon stores here. I swear it. Someone must have gotten to it before you and moved it. Covered it up somehow. Did you? I know my information didn't turn out like we expected this time. But is Tovan still looking for his sister? I might be able to locate Rena. If the Tal Shiar has any information on her whereabouts, I'll pass it on to you. That should show you I can be trusted. I just need to make my report before anyone gets suspicious. After that, I'll be in touch.
Excellent work. I'm not surprised that you did not find any weapons on Viranot. While the Romulan Republic has contacts with most of the colony worlds, we're not using them to fight a war. We're encouraging them to see the truth and join our cause. Nonetheless, you must continue to humor Charva to have any chance of winning her to our side. I doubt this will be the last you hear from her. Keep me apprised of developments.
Time is short. Congratulations, Sub-Commander.
Greetings. Given what you've just...
Time is short. What do you need of me?
Greetings. Given what you've discovered at Chaltok and Viranot, we need to widen our investigation. Republic ships have gone missing, and we can't afford these sort of losses. We need you to look into this problem. Head to the Beta Quadrant. One of our ships went missing near the Mempa system, and we want you to find out what happened. While I appreciate the personal nature of your attempt to find Rina Kev, you need to focus on the big picture. Our fledgling republic needs to establish its legitimacy as a political body, fend off attacks and intrigue by the Tal Shar and other external threats, and stabilize its claims on New Romulus. Right now, we need you to pursue this investigation. Our fleet is not particularly large, and we cannot afford to have any ships go missing. We need you to find out what's happening to them. Don't worry, this isn't the old empire where one person's welfare is put by the wayside for the good of the state. We'll keep looking for information about Rina. The best thing you can do is help the Republic to survive, so we can devote more resources to missions of a more personal nature.
Time is short. What do you need of me?
We've arrived at the source of the distress signal. Scanning the area now. The ship is badly damaged, but there's no clear relationship between the distortion and the ship. I ran a comparison to the anomalies we scanned previously in the Kittimer system. While they appear similar at first look, the spike in tetrions is different from what we've seen before. Sir, there's no sign of a Republic vessel in the area. Whatever happened here is unfortunate, but...
By default, the R key will set either full throttle or full speed.
Cardassians use a recursive encryption algorithm to protect... We have no idea what happened to this ship. We could be putting ourselves at risk for the sake of curiosity. I recommend we leave and continue our search elsewhere. It's your call, but if you're going over to that ship, then I'm... Interesting. No visible damage. Why would they abandon the ship? The bridge appears operational, but where's the crew? No other life signs detected. We're alone. Here's something odd. There are no corpses on this ship. The ship description fits what we've seen of the Alachi. Several security logs were accessed recently. I think you're going to want to see this. This security recording is from 3 days ago. Whatever it is, it explains why there aren't any corpses. One more. Pulling it up now. Wait. That noise. Several ships are on approach and requesting status. Sir, they're Cardassian.
Our way is the only true way.
That is unfortunate. Your ship would be worth far more undamaged. This is your last chance.
2 more waves are approaching the system. Recommend a defensive posture with power to shields.
You can distribute more power to shields to take a defensive posture. If you do so, your weapons and auxiliary systems will be less effective.
Your ship will be a trophy for the true way. The true way will avenge us!
The Cardassians were...
Based on what you've learned, it seems that your next lead is in the Beta Quadrant. Head to the Donatu system and see if you can learn more about where our ships are going and who's taking them.
According to new intel, Recommend we stay cloaked as we approach the station, sir. If we avoid the magnetic flux energy, we should be able to remain cloaked as we approach the station.
Your brazen attack on this station is further proof that the Romulan Republic is nothing more than a terrorist cabal. We've contacted the legitimate Romulan government and alerted them to your presence. Any further acts of terror against this station or any Cardassian citizen will be met with deadly force. Your ignorance of Cardassian history is...
I assume we can thank you for our escape. Before you transported us, I overheard a guard saying that more True-Way ships were approaching. Power restored. Preparing to warp out of the system.
Excellent. I hope that your new starship has performed to your satisfaction. Now that we know about Sila's attempts to capture our ships, we'll order our commanders to exercise additional caution in territory near True-Way space, or with other groups that might try their hand at privateering. I have received some new intelligence from our allies that may be of use to us. Expect to hear from me shortly.
Time is short. Congratulations, Sub-Commander.
Et voilà, c'est reparti pour une nouvelle aventure.
We've located the transports that are carrying the prisoners. And Charva's intel isn't exactly accurate. She told us they were going to be tall Shi'ar ships, but they're Cardassian. Do you think they could be disguised? And lightly guarded? They have combat-ready escorts. We'll need to defeat the escorts and disable the transport vessels. Then we can board and start looking for my sister. Reinforcements inbound! That's the last of them. An away team is waiting in the... There are faint life signs up ahead. One of them could be Rena. Let's check our fire. Perhaps the Tal Shiar knew the Cardassians took this convoy and sent us here to fight them. No matter who survived, us or the true way, either way the Tal Shiar wins. tall Shi'ar led us into a trap. Again. I'm tired of being lied to. The self-destruct on this ship is still active. Let's set it before we beam over to the next one and look for Rena there. All we should leave behind is a cloud of debris, and then the tall Shi'ar and the true Way will know the cost of crossing the Romulan... There isn't any data on prisoners here. It's just cargo and soldiers. I don't understand why Charva would send us here. Was she trying to get us killed? I can't believe Charva would lie about Rena being on one of these ships. We used to be so close. More escort ships inbound on an attack vector.
I provided the convoy's coordinates as a gesture of good faith. I remember how close Tovan was to his sister. Rinna was my friend too. Although she's committed crimes against the Romulan Star Empire, I'm willing to give her and you an—
How could you lie to us again? Lead us into another trap. And you use Rinna to do it. That's low, even for the Tal Shiar. She wasn't on those transports. It was all a setup, a deception intended to get us killed, and I'm not falling for it again. Give me a reason, any reason to believe the woman I cared about is still in you, that you can still be saved.
The Tal Shiar moves prisoners all the time. Sometimes it's for security reasons, or because Colonel Hakib wants to handle an interrogation personally. Maybe Rinna has already been sent someplace else. I'll check my contacts and see what I can find. I'm trying to help. You can't deny that. Maybe now you'll see that all Tal Shiar—
We put word out that Tovan's sister is still missing. I'll let you know if we hear anything. Keep talking to Charva. It's clear now she's playing some sort of game. But we can get ahead of this if you and Tovan keep her distracted. Anything that will give us an upper hand with the Tal Shiar will help our cause.
Time is short. Congratulations. You need a sub-commander.
If you want proof, then I'll provide it. I'm transmitting several classified Tal Shiar files to your ship now. Read through them, analyze them yourself, and then you'll see the truth. Ditan and his kind are terrorists and a threat to the survival of the Romulan people. After that, I hope you'll reconsider your options. The Tal Shiar are trying to help the Romulan people, and you should be fighting for us. We've been fighting for you all this time.
Captain, we're getting two different stories here. One from Charva, and one from these documents. Analysis of the files shows that either Charva is trying deliberately to mislead us, or that she's being misled herself. Since she seems to firmly believe what she's telling us, I'm not completely comfortable disregarding her information out of hand. I recommend that we speak to Commander Tal Mera on Drozana Station. She has contacts in the intelligence community that we don't. She should be able to either confirm or deny our findings.
Welcome to Drozana. You're cleared for dock.
Was there something you needed? Tal Shiar files. I'm sure there's a good story behind how you came into possession of these. What sort of information do you need? Personally, I'd regard anything given to you by a Tal Shiar operative with suspicion. They are masters of misinformation and misdirection. We can do that. Show me what you have. I've seen some interesting works of fiction, but nothing that compares to this. Deton and Lortrix working together? On a Riemann mining colony? I don't think so. Can you see Deton in a dilithium mine? And Lortrix was storing weapons for Deton? Why? There have to be better places we can stash supplies than in an enemy colony. And this section about Deton working with Klingons to target colonies for terrorist attacks is ridiculous. Neither Deton or the Empire would do such a thing. The Klingons may be warlike, but they won't engage a civilian target without a reason. I'm detecting that sections of the file have been altered. That's probably why it reads like... According to my records, I think The Tal Shiar are conducting quite an effective smear campaign against Titan and our movement. It's our responsibility. We can do that. Show me what you have. I'm detecting several abnormalities in this file. It looks like portions of it have been altered. We should corroborate these reports in order to determine which facts are actually true and which are Tal Shiar fabrications. Here's what we know and can confirm from our files. Titan did smuggle crates to Virenot before the attack on your colony, but they were carrying ship parts, not weapons. And he did more to help the colony without drawing excess attention. It was our group that helped your people get the water reclamation equipment they needed to support a healthy population. And yes, we spent a great deal of time and money gathering information about both the Federation and the Klingon Empire. But we're not planning an attack. Why would we? Instead, we're gathering all the intel we can about the political climates of both factions. I'm not saying that Titan is a complete innocent. None of us are. The political information could be used to sway decisions in our favor. The ship part and water reclamation equipment were smuggled illegally. But you have to look at the intent behind Titan's actions. He's trying to help people, not tear them down. We can do that. Show me what you have and what... I didn't realize that the Tal Shiar had transferred prisoners to the Kinkuthanza system penal colony. Probably because there isn't a penal colony in the Kinkuthanza system. That's not the only discrepancy I'm detecting in this file. There's distinct signs of tampering. We need to figure out what they altered, and why. Here's what I know. Most Tal Shiar prisoners fall off the grid completely. We don't know where they're taken, or what's being done to them, and that troubles Titan a great deal. We have, however, heard of a Tal Shiar facility called Installation 18 that appears to be a holding facility. Some prisoners would likely be taken there. As far as I know, your friend's sister has never been in the Theban system, much less been captured there. We did lose a militia ship there a few weeks ago, and one of my agents, Sub-Commander Avron, is still in Tal Shiar custody. Avron was trying to steal supplies from a Tal Shiar convoy when he was captured. It was risky, but they had critical supplies we couldn't get any other way. Did Titan know about the plan to attack a Tal Shiar convoy? Yes. Does that make us criminals and terrorists? That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. We can do that. Show me what you have and what parts of them are troubling you. We're fighting for our independence and the future of the Romulan race. We're short on supplies and allies and beset by enemies that see nothing wrong with murder, torture, and kidnapping. And they call us the terrorists. We've had to make some difficult decisions. Some of them have led us down roads that none of us wanted to take. But nothing we've done is anything as terrible as what the Tal Shiar is accusing Titan of doing. There are no innocents in a war, and that includes Titan. At least his motivations are clear. And I can't see what the Tal Shiar has to gain by framing him for these crimes.
Captain, Charva's convinced that these files are genuine. She wouldn't be pushing us this hard otherwise. We need to sit down and show her the discrepancies we've discovered, preferably in front of a Tal Shiar computer, so we can open her eyes to the truth. If we contact her and say we're ready to join the Tal Shiar, but we need to discuss these files first, maybe she'll take us somewhere where we can prove to her that she's been lied to. There's a subspace communications hub in the lounge on Drozana Station's observation level that we can use to contact Charva.
I wasn't expecting to hear from you so soon. Are you ready to join the Tal Shiar? I take it that everything I provided checked out to your satisfaction? That's a fair request. The Tal Shiar maintains a clandestine network of satellites throughout the quadrant. There's a listening post that's part of this network in the Aja system. It's near your current position and off the trade routes, so we should be able to meet privately. It's also connected to the rest of the Tal Shiar network, so we can go over the data in detail. I'm glad you've seen the light. You're joining the right side.
Was there something you needed? It's remote and has little strategic value. If you're planning some shore leave after this is over, I'd suggest you go to Ryza instead. I can tell you, you're probably flying into a trap. The Tal Shiar invests a great deal of time and effort to spin a web of lies. They don't look favorably on people who try to expose them for what they are. If you're going to go, at least take some backup. That won't be too difficult. You've made a lot of friends. Send out a subspace burst if you need some assistance in the Aza system. They'll be waiting for your signal.
Welcome to Josana. You're cleared for docking. We have everything you need for shore.
Captain, we're detecting another ship in the system. It's Charva's ship, the IRW Aethra. They're signaling to us that Charva has already beamed over to the listening post, and that you and I should join her. But they... I hope we're able to make Charva see reason. She doesn't seem willing to accept that Tal Shiar is at the root.
I am so glad to hear that you are considering my offer of joining the Tal Shiar. They offer safety and stability to all Romulans. You will not regret your decision. I cannot blame you for wanting to do your due diligence. Seeing as you are about to join our ranks, I do not think the Tal Shiar would mind if we took a look at some of the intelligence files used to generate the reports I gave you. Just do not tell any of my superiors that we did this. This cannot be right. It appears as if some of the information that was included in the report I gave you does not line up with what is here. Several of the facts have been changed either here or in the report, and the results skew any conclusions that could be drawn. But I thought, these recordings don't... Has this file been tampered with? This is the same story as the others. This evidence doesn't match the report I shared with you. You knew about this, didn't you? That's why you had me look at these files. Did you alter this data to make me look bad? Are you trying to sabotage my career with the Tal Shiar?
We were sent here by Commander Morris to take you into custody. You are accused of undermining the Romulan Empire and crimes unbefitting of a Romulan. Tovan Kev, you are accused of aiding a known fugitive and conspiring against the Tal Shiar. Charva, you are relieved of command of your ship, pending the outcome of a court-martial. If you're lucky. That's all that will happen to you for betraying the Tal Shiar.
We need to get out of here and return to our ship before the Tal Shiar send any more troops down.
I've been informed by my Tal Shiar superiors that you and Charva are now to be considered enemies of the state. My orders are to apprehend you, alive if possible, but dead will work almost as well. Surrender, and I will be merciful to your crew. Resist, and let their deaths be on your head. If you insist, how about a fleet of Tal Shiar warships? Will that convince you to surrender? Think of your crew. Spare them the pain and suffering this mean...
Captain, Sub-Commander Nadell is commanding the RRW Dehu. She has requested we transport Charva aboard so she can be taken to the proper authorities.
Welcome aboard. Is this the Tal Shiar prisoner? This way, please. I'll leave you to it.
No. They're doing what they can for our people. I was the one who failed to live up to their expectations. And you were the one who steered me wrong, just like Datan has done to you.
Captain, Charva was a close friend, and we couldn't even convince her of our cause. We need to find something substantial to expose the Tal Shiar. Charva's alive, but I expect she's going to face a lot of questions from intelligence. But if we couldn't change her mind, what'll it take to convince the Romulan people? How do we gather the proof we need? For now, we've done all we can. I recommend we leave the system before any Tal Shiar reinforcements arrive.
You've done commendable work exposing the duplicitous nature of the Tal Shiar, but there is still more work to be done in order to actually discover what they have been up to. It's a shame that Charva is resisting our efforts to turn her to our cause. Perhaps with enough time, she'll see the Tal Shiar for the traitors to the Romulan people that they really are. In any event, you are proving to be a formidable addition to this fleet. Time is short.
Congratulations, Sub-Commander.
It looks like you're about to be moving up in the galaxy. Based on your new familiarity with Tal Shiar operatives and their less-than-savory techniques, I passed your personnel file off to Republic Intelligence. I believe you've already met Commander Talmera. She'll be handling your work with them. Intelligence is very interested in your recent encounter with Charva. They think you're ready for some more clandestine assignments.
Time is short. What do you need?
Welcome to Josana.
Was there something you needed? I've been reviewing your personnel files. You've had quite the interesting career, haven't you? Tell me about the time you've spent with Charva, and what you learned about the Tal Shiar. If you're willing, we can use the information you learned from Charva, as well as intel we've gathered in other operations, to help you infiltrate the Tal Shiar. I've been informed through some covert channels that someone wants to talk to you. Next to the Dabo table, you will find a Ferengi looking around nervously. Approach him and say, "Think this wheel is rigged?" If he responds with, "Only if it still has factory settings," you'll know you've found the right person. Good luck, and let me know if I can help.
Can't you see I'm busy losing all my latinum? Only if it still has factory settings. There is a package for you. Look behind the plant near the bar in the... Well, what are you waiting for?
I am Franklin Drake, and I represent an organization with goals in line with yours. You have proven yourself useful so far, but there is so much more you could do. If you speak with my associate in the lounge area of Drozana Station, you will be patched directly through to me. Do not keep me...
Place this device in your ear and act as though you're speaking with me. Patching you through to Drake now.
We've been working on getting someone inside the Tal Shiar. Before we start filling you in on our plans, tell me why you want to do this. I've heard you were at Veranot. Nasty business. Easy to build a vendetta from something like that. A person in your situation might have some pent-up rage, emotions that could overwhelm you in a critical moment. I don't have time to waste on someone with a grudge. Good enough. This information may prove useful to the Romulan Republic. I'm willing to pass it along in the hope of having the favor repaid in the future. We'll be ready to act when you are.
The information is valid, and our allies seem eager to assist. Still, I worry about what type of favor they will ask of us in the future. Nevertheless, we're going to use this opportunity to try to insert you into the Tal Shiar. You'll pose as someone who wants to join them, gain their trust, and then use that to infiltrate their operations. To help sell your story, our allies in Starfleet have agreed to launch a staged attack on a known Tal Shiar base. You'll use this attack to get inside their organization. Take these patterns for replicating Tal Shiar uniforms. You might want to dress the part. Was there something you needed?
C'est là que s'arrête le stream. Comme d'habitude, mon ami Valranos va diffuser les vidéos ce soir à 19h et mercredi. Je vous conseille de la regarder. Le prochain rendez-vous, ce sera le stream de samedi s'il n'y a pas de changement. Et comme dit un certain Vulcain, longue vie et prospérité à vous.